Well, it's my first time back in the chair to do an actual review, so why don't we start things off a little bit slower? Because if y'all are wondering what's going to happen with the show of Mirage Reviews, I'll let y'all know at the end of another video. But for right now, let's cue that intro real quick.
I know that this is my destiny. I was at my lowest, he saw the best of me. All of my doubts are the rest in peace. Buried them deep in the leg, I can work with the rest of me. Yes, I am blessed, never stress, disconnect from all my demons. They can never get the best of me. Truly blessed to be a...
Hello everyone, and welcome back to Nomadic Reviews. I am your host, V, and I figured for my first real video back, since y'all have been getting a lot of backlogs, I feel bad for my editors just being like, yo, what the fuck was this man on? I wanted to touch base with y'all about a little itty bitty thing. I love thesis films in art colleges. They're the most fascinating thing to me because you can get anything from everything when it comes to a creative that's about to enter the bigger leagues of being an animator. Whether it's going to be working for an actual good studio, or you work for any studio that's kind of in America. I have very little love for mainstream media as of late. But that does not have to go into a bad regard when it comes to this thesis film that we're covering called The Blood Butcher.
Yeah, I'm running in blind, fighting out my mind. Yeah, it's my time, bring it down to the line, running in.
Now, normally we would be doing stuff of breaking it down bit by bit for like different events and whatnot, but since this is a thesis film that's a little bit shorter than your average short film, I usually will be covering like a film involving Cole Sprouse that no, it's Dylan Sprouse. I get the twins mixed up. One of the Sprouse twins I'm going to be doing next time. For this though, we're just going to be going through the whole thesis film like I do for my Mirage Reviews show when I'm in character and whatnot, and we're just going to dive in from there. So let's get started. Our thesis film begins with the characters of Hijinks and Rebel, if I'm just assuming correctly on the names, just escaping from the police. I personally think they're trying to escape the police over a ninja incident that happened in South Central LA. Never fuck with a ninja. They just be trying to look for some stuff is what I'm just trying to say right now. So they hiding out in, I assume is their usual hideout location, where all of a sudden we get our thesis film's antagonist.
Oh, cool.
Oh, hell no!
Yes, this is the eponymous Blood Butcher, a butcher made from probably the blood of animals and some people, in order to format this hellish blood demon. And I know several people that are a simp for this Blood Butcher right now.
It's free real estate.
So we kind of go into a whole barrage of either a chase scene or a fight scene, depending on how the direction goes into play. And by the end of the whole thing, seems like the Blood Butcher is down. Or is it?
You would pull something like this.
And then we kind of just cut to black. There we go. All said and done, right?
No, of course not, dickhead.
So that small summary for a small thesis film, you're probably just like, V, you could have done a different sort of property. Why'd you cover this thing? I have 3 reasons that we're going to be going into. Number 1 is going to be a pretty obvious thing in retrospect. The way this is kicked off, you get the feeling like it was an episode already in progress. And that's what's making my brain go at 1,000,000 miles per second every time I've had to rewatch this incredible thesis film. It's very rare when I see something that actually brings a lot of good intentions to my brain about what I want to see from it. and then makes me want to actually follow up to see if there's more to be seen, more to be witnessed, and more to just be enraptured by. And Blood Butcher did that in spades. I haven't felt this upbeat since I saw the pilot for Hell of a Boss, and that has just been a hard act to follow. So from that just being my number one reason, I'm just like, yo, ToxicSoul77, girl, if I need to crowdfund for you to get this show done, where I have to do some fundraising streams to get you that money, can you make this show a reality? I am being serious. I will do that today. Reason the second is going to be probably a frivolous thing, but I am a huge fan of Toxic Soul. There have been very few artists that have caught my attention, whether it's SGT Simi Souse, or everyone's favorite boy of Ballbots, or an artist I'm going to be talking to soon of Tiny Spidey. But Toxic Soul has been one of those artists that I've been dying to work with because I want her artwork for something I've been trying to get finished being written up for like the longest time, and I'm like, if only I could get my foot in the door to talk to this lady, do this business, and just ask her what her prices are to get the ball rolling. I want that so much that when I saw this thesis film, I was like, hey, let me put my whole drive for business aside and look into the incredible talent that is Toxic, because her artwork is impeccable. Her attention to detail is phenomenal, and I truly think that she is one of the few artists that I follow that is meant to take the world by storm with her design work, with how she details things, and how her mind operates when it comes to the creative ventures. And I want to see more done from her side of stuff so that I can fully appreciate her at her full potential. Not her at just 1%. Her at 100% talent.
Not that I know, but I didn't mean it like that. It's wow, it's really hot in here.
The final reason is gonna be the most insignificant reason because in retrospect, it doesn't really matter. But it has to be stated. At its core, I want to review everything. Whether it's good, whether it's bad, whether it's big, whether it's small. I want to cover anything and everything because all things deserve critiquing. My own work, other people's works, mainstream media's works especially, deserve to be witnessed, deserve to be analyzed, and deserve to be touched upon. Nomadic Reviews is still going to be what I'm now making the home for the underappreciated mediums that deserve to be talked about more, need to be analyzed more, and touched upon in a greater detail. It's why, since this is a thesis film, I can't really make sure that it is good or bad for the standards of independent or mainstream because it's a huge thesis film to showcase where someone is for their talents. What I will state, though, for what's being entailed, this is a film that felt like it was already in the middle of an episode of sorts that I wish I had more of. When you leave the audience wanting more, it's a great thing. For a critic, that's just like, did I miss something? Am I supposed to look into other things to make sure that what I saw was the correct details? Did I forget to view into any other properties? Doing that sort of stuff can be frustrating for critiquing purposes. Not really for me, but I have to stick to the fucking rule book people had to make in order to make sure you're a nostalgia critic clone and make sure I didn't have to disregard anything else on that front. And so, yeah, that's just going to be my closing out thoughts for just all the reasons I've stated for you guys about why this was covered. Is this a good enough showcase for anyone and everyone to follow into Toxic Soul, whether it's on social media or for stuff on YouTube? I would say it's just a fraction of what you can expect. I've seen this lady draw a lot of things on social media before I left social media that made me really want to dive into more stuff of what she has created. Made me want to understand where her creative tendencies have come from, where her own core fashion about why she started drawing things to begin with just formulate into my mind. And the more I've looked into her work, whether it's from just her drawing things out or making different animations, is why I want more. Why I will literally do an entire series of fundraising streams to make sure this lady makes her own independent studio and produces whatever she really wants to do. I'm willing to go that extra mile, and I'm willing to put my money where my mouth is. And I'm also willing to say I want this lady to do some animation stuff or some art stuff for my, one of my studios, to just hammer out all the stuff I would need and then some, as well as just trying to make sure everything that I've worked on prior is extra dope with her artwork as the forefront. That's where I'm at. And I hope for any other future reviewer that's going to do something of this vein that you guys give the exact same respect to the artist that you enjoy that I'm trying to do for others. Because it's hard out here to just be an artist without an agency or whatever at your beck and call. And it's going to be even harder in the mainstream when you kind of have to deal with the stuff behind closed doors. So make sure you give love back to the artist that you love. Because it's a hard battle out there. Wait, who the fuck put this soapbox underneath my goddamn feet?
Boy, you crazy!